This is going to sound very Michael Scott of me, but just hold on, okay? Some people say that I'm super mom and that I do it all and that I'm awesome at my job and being a mom. To them, I say, yeah, don't see the other 90% that I don't share on social media. No, but like for real, any mom who says that they're not overwhelmed, overstimulated, has the occasional freak out, yells at their kids sometimes, like I just don't believe you. I think you're lying or you're delusional, because none of us are perfect, but I've really kind of been through a bit at this point with 4 kids and also running a business from home and having ADHD. And my husband also works from home too. So it's 6 people in this house, 24/7, 365. And did I mention I have twins? Yeah, I have twins too. So I am definitely... Oh, look, there's Mike. Mike! Hey, Mike. Come here, baby. Do you want to come sit with me for a second? I'm talking about parenting and stuff. Do you want to come talk about it?
Sure, I look like crap. I'll talk about it.
Yay. Come on into the egg, Mike.
It's not on
If you break it, you bought it.
Wow, it actually...
It's very solid. It's way more solid than it looks, isn't it?
It didn't break.
Okay, this is the microphone.
Hi.
This is Mike. That's my husband. We've been married for 11 years. It'll be 12 years in a week. We're talking about how to not be overwhelmed as parents. So, talking to the microphone, Michael.
Hi.
Okay, I just want you to tell me one thing that you think makes a difference for us to have a more like calm household and not feel so overwhelmed.
Beating the children.
Shut up. Give a serious answer. How are we helping ourselves to like deal with it and manage like the stress and the overwhelm of like...
Oh, I work out, play drums, guitar. You just watch TikTok all day. So there's that. I don't know how you calm down, but that's how I calm down.
Do you want to know what mine are, and then you can comment on them, or do you just want to go work out?
Sure, let's
Okay.
hear your self-care.
Number one is
Handwriting's horrible.
we have homeschooled our kids because for a lot of reasons, but we were homeschooling our kids since they were in preschool forever. But in the last month or so, we made a huge switch with that, which is to send them to an online public charter school. So they're still at home, but like all of their schooling is not my responsibility anymore. I just have to make sure they show up for their class and they like get their assignments done, but I don't have to like take on the mental load or the time of actually doing the teaching. And I think that was like a huge change that helped us not be so stressed and overwhelmed, but like admitting that things were not working the way that they were, and then being willing to make a big change when it was necessary, I think had a huge impact.
I don't think people realize, and I don't think you realize, like these kids don't realize it even now, is that we're just winging it. Like our parents just winged it. They didn't really have a plan. They were just winging it. Mm-hmm. I mean, admitting that we're wrong or admitting something doesn't work. I don't know if any of our plans have worked, really, but...
What do you mean?
We're constantly duct taping life together.
I think that most people feel like that, though. I feel like it's like there's always something that goes wrong, but then you get kind of a break where things are okay and they go right, and then something goes wrong again, and then you gotta like fix that and then like spend time recovering from that.
We are the car with one wheel's a donut, the other is like, you know, you turn around to the other side of the car and the bumper's duct taped on. And then, you know, the inside has, I mean, just candy and a whole bunch of shit together. I mean, we're lucky we passed inspection.
I think that, like, you think that things are so hard inside of, like, your own home or your own space. And it might be, but it is for pretty much everybody. Like, I remember when we had Carolyn, our first, and I thought it was so hard having a baby and being a mom. And looking back, she was the easiest baby we had. Like, she was an angel.
I mean,
and we only had one kid, so, you know, like, compared to now, we had it so easy, but at the time, because we didn't have any kids before that, it felt really, really hard.
I always say the reason why people are nostalgia is because you survived the problem. You're not looking back because it's awesome. You're looking back because it's crazy and you survived.
The next thing is, and this kind of is like what Mike was talking about, is that you have to be your own mom, because no one is going to, like, take care of you unless you take care of yourself. Even if Mike tries, like, Mike doesn't know what's going on with me unless I tell him, and he's got his own, like, stuff going on.
All right, number 3.
Okay, number 3 is to automate and delegate as much stuff as you can. So,
And proliferate.
I think that we could be better at this, but, like, automating things like meal planning. So I haven't done this for 2025 yet, but okay.
I love you.
I love you too. There's 2 places to do automations. One is in your business, one is in your home and your personal life. So for business, this looks like setting up things like a sales funnel that's automated through email marketing, or also, and in addition, ManyChat on Instagram so that you can, like, but in personal life, automating there helps too. So one of the best things that I usually do, and I haven't done it yet for 2025, but I need to, is to automate my meal planning. And what I mean by that is I will make a meal plan for a month, put it into my calendar, and then just have it repeat for 3 months. So it's like a seasonal meal plan. So for, like, January, February, March, I'll have the same meal plan just, like, on rotation for 3 months. And that way I don't have to think about it. All I have to do is look in the calendar and I know what there is. And I like refreshing it seasonally because, you know, what you eat in the winter is probably different, at least for us. You know, we have 4 distinct seasons here in the north, and I like having things... I like eating different things in the winter than I do in the summer, right? So having a rotation like that where it's all just gonna pop up in my calendar for me is super helpful. And then delegating, you know, my kids are now 10, the twins are 7, and the toddler is 2. So the toddler can't really do a whole lot to help around the house, but my oldest, she definitely can and does help a lot. The twin 7-year-olds, they do less than the 10-year-old, but they still can help as well. They love doing certain chores like taking the compost out. So delegating things to them. And then also Mike, we really do 50-50 with chores. So, like, I do the dishes, he does the laundry. We both do cleaning. We both take care of the kids. Like, we really split things. But sometimes if there's, like, particular tasks that I feel like stuck on, especially having ADHD, sometimes I'll ask him to help me with those, and that will, like, kind of help me get unstuck or unoverwhelmed. The next is something that I talk about quite a bit here for business, but also helps for personal stuff, which is to use ChatGPT. So I use ChatGPT for everything from telling me what astrological transits are happening this month to doing the meal planning or helping me plan a road trip or coming up with activities that we can do. Like, there's so many different ways that you can utilize ChatGPT. Like, literally anything that you need help with, just go in there and ask it. Be like, hey, I need help with this. What can you do to help me? And it'll tell you. If you don't know how to use ChatGPT, just ask it. It's, like, literally that easy. You just have to ask it how it can help you. The next is that I find the kids, usually when they are acting up, it's because there's some kind of, like, unfulfilled need, right? I mean, think about babies and toddlers. Like, if they're having a meltdown or they're crying, it's because they're hungry, they need changed, or something like that, right? And it doesn't matter whether they're 2 or 10. Usually, if there's some kind of, like, behavioral issue maybe coming up, it's because they have some, like, unmet need. And having dedicated connection time with them, so playing, like, intentionally playing with them, not that I don't play with the kids, but you know what I mean, like, making it be intentional. And not just individually, but we also, every Friday night, we have family movie night on Sundays, usually Mike and I take over the living room and the TV. There's no cartoons. We watch football. I really like having the evenings to myself. Mike takes Shirley, the toddler, to bed, and then I send the big kids to bed, and I'll like do the dishes, but then I have time to like do yoga or journal or scroll on TikTok, like whatever I want to do. And then like the 80-20 rule is so helpful everywhere. 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. So honing in on the things that are giving you the biggest bang for your buck is super helpful at home and in business. And I'll give you a couple examples. It's hard to keep an entire house clean, or even most of the house clean, on a regular basis when you have 6 people in here all the time. Like, I could have the kitchen perfectly clean, and by the end of the day, it's going to be a disaster from like cooking meals and just using it, you know? It's like almost like living in a restaurant. And so if I was worried about keeping every single space of the house cleaned, it would be so stressful. But I know there are important areas that make life easier for me if I keep them as neat and clean as possible. So obviously the kitchen, because we have to eat, and then my office. Like, those are the 2 places that personally for me make a huge difference, because I have to work and I have to eat and feed the kids. If the living room is a little messy with toys, that's fine. I can live with that. Like, it'll need a big reset in a couple days, right? But if it's a little cluttered on like a Wednesday, that's not disrupting my life. And so I try to focus on things just being like functional versus everything perfect. And so what are like the high impact things for you? Is it like keeping your kitchen clean, keeping your desk cleared off, keeping the mail sorted? Like, there's always going to be something that when you do it, it helps you be way more productive and less stressed and overwhelmed. And the same thing in your business. So in business, it more applies to money, right? So focus on the tasks that are actually making you money. It's so easy to get pulled away and distracted with like content creation and getting views and getting followers, but are those things actually making you money or contributing to important goals that you have? And I think just accepting that when you have a big life full of a lot of things that might be wonderful things, it is normal to feel overwhelmed sometimes. Totally normal. If I just sat here and like meditated and watched TV and like chilled all day and I didn't have a business, I didn't have 4 kids, like, sure, I wouldn't be as overwhelmed, I wouldn't be as stressed, but like, is that a life I want? No, like, I chose the chaos